All right, folks, good morning. Today, I'm going to take you guys with me and show you exactly what I'm going to do today and kind of what a day in my life looks like. You know, I always make my videos and show you a certain project or how we're doing this or how we're doing that. And, you know, today is just another chore day. And I got several things to do. Getting started early this morning. It's going to be a very hot day today. I think our high temperature today is supposed to be 100 degrees. Humidity's high, heat index around 112, they say. So I'm getting started early. I'm going to work as long as I can. When I reach a certain point of just being too hot, then, you know, I take a break for an hour and cool off and come work for an hour and cool off and just kind of play out the rest of the day like that. So not sure exactly what all the day is going to hold today. Not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing all day today, but just kind of show you a day in the life of a guy trying to get a nursery started, who's trying to build this thing, grow this thing. You know, what actually goes on out here on a day-to-day basis. So I don't know about every day, but I know about this day. So we'll kind of see what we can get into. And we're going to start up here by, on that last video or a couple of videos ago, did the irrigation project, and that trench, that ditch is still open. So I need to start covering that up. So we got dirt to move. Got ground cover to put down, got potting to do, and we'll just see how far we get. So, guys, y'all come along with me. Hope this is enjoyable or helpful to you, and let's get started. All right, folks, so we're back around here to the shade house on the other side of it, the ones that we just put our irrigation in. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to cover this with ground cover all but down through the center. So we're going to go around that edge over there, around the end, and down this side with ground cover. Before we do that, we got some old dead plants in here that we need to get out. And one of the things that's been driving me nuts about this is all these weeds in here. And you can see that. And I've kept these sprayed and I've kept them trimmed with the weed eater, and they just become a problem when plants sit in here for a while. So I'm going to come in here and trim all this down to near ground level with the weed eater, and I'm going to cover all this going around this edge with ground cover. So that's next this morning. All right, folks, y'all can see that I got the ground cover laid down in here just like I want. That way, little strip in the back, and then down this way. That was a 12-foot roll that I just cut in half. So if you wondered how I did that. So one thing that I didn't think about, just wasn't, I don't know, it didn't even cross my mind, is that my staples that I use to fasten this to the ground, you can't even start to drive them in this hard gravel. So if you guys have any suggestions on how to fasten this to the ground, that would be awesome. Just any breeze at all coming through here will just blow this stuff everywhere. So I can't leave it like this. At a minimum, I need to, you know, put something on it, like some pots or something. But anyway, if y'all know how to fasten that down that actually works, y'all let me know. Otherwise, so far so good this morning, and we're going to just keep plugging along. All right, folks, so for better or worse, at least for now, here is my solution. I just stuck some trees out there, and they'll help hold that down until I can figure out how to fasten it to the ground. Not a permanent solution, but one that will work for now. All right, folks, we've walked out here around to the back side of our first shade house we ever had, and I'm going to start working on potting these plants out here. And I don't know how many of them there are out here. There's a couple of thousand, I think, between hostas, rose of Sharon, green giants, got a couple of varieties of hydrangeas in here that need to be potted up. And kind of part of my goal is to get these into pots so they can start rooting well into their pots before we start getting the cold weather. We're still probably, 8 weeks or something left of growing. So there's still a lot of growing left to do. 2 full months. We're not anywhere near done with the growing season yet, but we are looking toward that direction. So, typically a plant in the springtime will emerge a little bit better, a little bit more explosively, and really come out if it's already settled into its pot the fall before. So if that makes any sense. So anyway, we like to have as many things potted up as we can going into winter. So we still got a ways to go on that, but that's what we're going to be working on for the next, a little bit today, but really it's going to take a couple of weeks to get all this done, just with all the other things going on and the heat and all the rest. So that's the next thing, is it's all things potting for now. All right, folks, the first thing that we're going to work on potting today is a little hosta called Sting. And this is a cool little hosta. It's just a green and white variegated hosta, but I think it's called Sting. I think it's called Sting because the leaves come out and make that nice little sharp point right there like a stinger. So the thought is that we'll get these potted up now. They'll root into these pots really well before winter, and then they'll go dormant in the winter, and next spring these things will be big and awesome and beautiful and ready to sell. And that's what we're hoping for with all of these hostas. So like I said, going to be the project today and just in the weeks ahead for sure. Another thing that's just kind of interesting, worth showing you today, is when you pull these hostas out of these little pots, these have been sitting here since spring. These were little tiny when I potted these up. When you pull them out, you get a nice little root ball in there. This is not quite what I would call root bound, but it's a little dry and it just needs to be potted up. And when you've already got this much potting soil, this amount, it doesn't take a whole lot in this pot to go ahead and get that pot full. So that's about halfway full there. This pot is, so you just sit it in top and fill it on in around the edges, and it works out pretty good. So it's not a situation where you just go through so much potting soil, which is good, because on an application like this where I've got so much potting to do, it's good to not just blow through this every 10 minutes. So that's a good thing. All right, folks, it's about midday. Heading up here to the house for lunch. Just going to stay inside for a while, eat lunch, cool off, upload some video and work on some video editing, and we'll just kind of see what we wind up doing for the rest of the day. It's going to be getting real hot here real soon. My wife and my kids will be back in just a little while. They've been gone to grandma's for a couple of days, so look forward to seeing them in a little while, and we'll just keep moving on with the day. It is now much later in the evening. We are just an hour and a half now from dark, and it's still like 92 degrees outside, high humidity. My family's come home, so Casey and I are going to do a little bit of potting here just to finish up the day before dark. But we've had dinner, we've cooled off a lot, and I got to spend about 3.5 hours inside editing this very video already. So this video is almost done, but that being said, we've still got some work to do this evening, so we want to show you kind of how our day is going to finish today. So check out a little more potting. All right, folks, that gets us to just about the end of our day today, and I hope you kind of get something out of seeing what we do all day. And it's not exactly like this every day. In fact, some days it's nothing like this, and you know, the heat affects our work hours and all of that. But I do appreciate y'all coming along here and joining us and letting us share a little bit of our lives with you and a little bit of what a work day looks like in a real nursery as we're trying to grow this thing out. So again, I appreciate y'all being with us today. I love y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.